Hi, this is Szczepan Piekutowski from Universal Peace Initiative. I'm doing a live today. I thought I would give you an update. So update was happening today. I've decided I'm going to visit an ancient site in Cannock Chase or Cannock Woods, where I live, close by, on my bicycle. So it was supposed to be 45 minutes on the bicycle, but unfortunately it took me, I think, over an hour. So we're at Cannock Chase Castle Ring, and I'm going to do something which is called a CE-5 today. This at the moment was this is a new site for me. Site has been recommended by my friends from CE-5 Birmingham, for David and Rachel and Nick and others. Thank you for that, because I'm going to see the site now, where potentially I'm going to be visiting this site every week or so to do a CE-5. With limited time that we have, it's close by. It's only 1 hour away on a bicycle. Gives me exercise as well. So I'm going to see it now. This is an ancient place where old castle was, apparently, and it looks like this at the moment. So let me just show you. Oh, apparently this is where the castle was. So this is where the other group from Birmingham had CE-5 a week ago, and then another 2 weeks ago as well. So I'm going to have a look at where we can actually do the CE-5 next time, because it's close to where I live. Now, the reason why I'm here is, for people who don't know what CE-5 is, we're looking for different sites around England at the moment to find the suitable place for making contact with ETs. And however crazy that sounds, it's actually quite easy and quite possible. So my dear friend Lee from London, who I started Universal Peace Initiative project with, is going to Portugal today, well, not today, next week, to look for the site for our eco village, which we're planning to build together. And then he asked me to do some invites for CE-5 non-locally, because when we study the science of consciousness, we know that the mind is non-local. It's omnipresent, it's everywhere. Every time when you think of someone intensively, about an old friend, or about someone who you know, and you were thinking that, oh, perhaps I should contact him soon, suddenly he writes to you, and suddenly he makes a phone call and he makes a contact, or you kind of bump into each other. That's because the mind works instantly. The thought is instant. It travels across the universe instantly. There's also a theory which has been proven, which is called quantum entanglement, which says basically that if one particle receives an information which is somehow connected to your particle, then receives the same information on the other end of the universe. So let's say that you change in a bit and the other person is affected. This is called quantum entanglement. So look it up if you want to know exactly how it works. So what I'm going to do now, today, and from what I've been doing for last week, but very precisely I'm going to do it, and with determination this week, is we're going to send some invitations to ETs to come and visit my friends in Portugal, because not only Lee is going to be going to look for a place for a village, eco village that we want to build, he's also going to take his Portuguese friends, who are called Helping Tugas, by the way. I'll explain to you in a minute what it is. He's going to take those two people to a site, and then he's going to introduce them to speaking CE-5 protocol, which is a protocol of making contact with extraterrestrial civilization. So I'm looking for a site now. I'm not really sure, maybe this will be good somewhere here, perhaps. There's quite a lot of open space here. This is the Castle Ring Cannock Chase, or Cannock Woods, which is north of Birmingham. So there's, I don't know exactly where CE-5 Birmingham went to, but I can ask them when they see this video. So Helping Tugas, these are two people, a man and a woman, I think they're a couple, who are ditching the system that we live in, and they are traveling on the bicycles, if I'm not mistaken, to around the world with no money to start helping people for free. So if they can get around and use their currency, use their help and time as currency, this is what they will do. So they will probably travel on the bicycles, and they will help people around the world. So now they're in Portugal, next sort of week they are in South America, and so on. So they are using as little money as possible to get by. So we're helping them. We support what they do as Universal Peace Initiative, and this is what Lee is involved as well. And yeah, he's going to take them to a very nice spot in Portugal to see, to make contact with ETs, to introduce them to CE-5 protocol. Yes, so I think this is where we are at the moment. I think this is where the castle was. This must be quite a special place. We're surrounded by woods. I'll see if I can find any other place. Yeah, so if you haven't been involved in CE-5, whoever is watching, hi David. Just I was saying, David, I will mention your name, that thanks to you guys I'm in Cannock Castle Ring. I'm looking for a spot. I don't know where you went, so I think you went here somewhere, because I need to do some invitations for my friend who is going to do CE-5 in Portugal. So this is where I am probably going to be coming tonight. I came here today to have a look. I'm thinking that this is somewhere here you've been, because this is where the castle would have been. Hi Mateusz. So for whoever hasn't been involved in CE-5, just to explain that this about 20 years ago, a man called Dr. Steven has created a protocol which uses consciousness to make contact with anyone in the universe, any sentient being in the universe who is more developed than perhaps an animal, on some kind of same consciousness level as humans, that they can interact with humans. But I think animals are on the same level because they have dreams as well. Because the consciousness is, it doesn't matter whether you're an animal or a human or an ET. Consciousness is everywhere. It's everything that we are. So based on that fact that the mind is omnipresent and the consciousness is present everywhere, we use that as a foundation to make contact with any being in the universe, whether it's an extraterrestrial or astral or divine from any other dimension. It doesn't matter, because consciousness is everywhere. We are consciousness. So based on that, he created a very simple protocol where you can basically enter a meditative state, silence your mind, sort of go into your astral body, in a very simplest terms, and then once you've done that, then you can create an intention, present an intention to see anywhere in the universe, any place in the universe with your mind's eye. Now, when you do that, you can see something on the planet Earth, or you can see something on Mars, or you can see something in another solar system, if you wish. So then, what happens then? You send a direct message using thought, which I mentioned before at the beginning, which is instant, and then instantly the thought goes to someone, or someone in the universe, and if he is developed enough, and ETs are developed enough to realize that, to be on that level, then they will pick up the message. Sometimes if your mind is clear enough, then you will be able to pick it up instantly. If someone is sending you a message across, you will know instantly what it is. The same happens with mothers and children, or fathers and children, but mothers more likely, because mother gives a birth to a child, and if a daughter is in trouble, or sorry, I think I got disconnected. Yes, so she knows if someone is staring at you. You can feel that something. It's something. Someone is. When someone is staring at you, you can feel that something is happening. Yeah, like someone is watching you. You can feel the energy, because what I'm doing now, it's vibration. It's just a frequency of sound which is being transmitted by my phone to you. But the thought works instantly. It's instant, and it can get anywhere in the new universe. If you're listening to something to me now, you can. I was referring to something which is called the quantum entanglement, which, if you are connected with another particle in a way, in any kind of way, if you are changed, the other particle is affected as well. It doesn't matter where in the universe the particle is. That means this is how ETs are actually communicating with each other, with using the thought and consciousness, not the linear physics. The linear physics, the 3D world physics, do not apply in interstellar travel and consciousness, because distances are just too far. It's impossible to do that. So there must be another way, and ETs know the way, and we know the way as well, that in order to travel in between stars, you have to go beyond the speed of light. If you go beyond the speed of light, then you are going to another dimension by default. The same with the speed of sound. If you go over the speed of sound, there is a barrier. There is a barrier of speed of light as well. That has been already researched and done in the unacknowledged projects, even acknowledged projects in America, in the Dreamland or Area 51, and all sorts of things. So there's a lot to it. So. At the moment, I'm just talking really out of my head, because I haven't really planned what I'm going to say exactly. But this is what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go into a short meditation now, because I need to get back, but I'll come back in the evening to set sort of a precedent, is it precedent? Yeah, or a base for contact for tonight. And I will come here tonight, and I will attempt to make contact with ETs, or at least send invitations for them to come and see our friends in Portugal, because this is what we have been doing. You have to, with limited time that we have. Normally, when Stephen Greer is taking people for the trip, so they take about 1 week. The research trips that he does, expeditions he calls them. But because we've got limited time in our lives at the moment, we can do things at home. We can sit down and prepare ourselves for CE-5, for the contact date, by inviting ETs to come 1 week or 2 weeks before we actually do it. So this is what we always do when we go for CE-5. That's why today I'm going to send invitations to them, to invite them to see our friends in Portugal, at the same time to come and see me. Now you probably wonder, if you think that this is something crazy, and how do they manifest? How do they show themselves? How do we know it's ET? We probably know that there is someone in the universe, but they haven't been here yet, and all that stuff. So they can manifest in many different ways. ETs, which is extraterrestrial. They can come and they can manifest in having a feeling in your heart, in having a vision. If you are an emotional person, if your abilities are to have empathy, and if you are emotionally based person, you will have an emotional feeling for sure. This is how we are programmed and created. If you are very analytic, you might get numbers, you might get coordinates, you might get clear vision of what's happening, clear vision of what they want to show you, what kind of contact it will be. The contact can be also visual. Of course, we can see ET crafts and flying saucers and everything else of that sort. It doesn't happen that often, but they will probably appear as orbs, flying orbs, passing on the sky, but they will not leave chemtrails like this. No, not for sure, because they don't use jets. They will appear as glowing orbs, as I said. They will appear as streaks of light, streaks of energy. They will appear as flashes. So a lot of anomalies that can happen when you do contact with CE-5, which is really awesome, because for the first timers it's unbelievable what's happening. Now there's a lot to it. A lot of people think that, oh, let's go under the stars and let's meditate and make contact. But this is one thing. If you do CE-5, I'm gonna stop moving because it's probably annoying you. Yeah. If you are involved in CE-5, this is a constant development of yourself, because CE-5 protocol takes you through every step that you need to do to become aware, expand consciousness, and involve and create a habit of making a practice of meditation and spirituality in your life. So when I was starting CE-5, I went through a process which is in the app, the application for the phone. There's an app which you can use. It takes you through learning how to meditate. So that's number one. Learn how to meditate, which is silencing your mind and letting your consciousness be expanded and concentrate on your consciousness, not on your mind. Let your mind settle and just be at this present moment. Be aware. Have an awareness. Now, then you practice something which is called the remote viewing, which probably some people have heard and seen. Remote viewing is once you are established in that state of meditation, then you can send an intention out to see that you wish to see something somewhere. You wish to awaken somewhere in the cosmos or in the universe. Once you do that, then your mind will kick in and give you all the ideas and images, so then you go back to the meditation. And then you practice that, remote viewing, and then you practice coherent thought sequencing, which is sending a thought to a loved one, sending a thought to someone who is who you want to make contact with. And then once you do that, then you have to go and conquer the barriers of racism, conquer the barriers of fear, conquer the prejudices that we have in our head, that was put in our heads by our society, by our grandparents, parents and friends, and etc. Be unconsciously as well. So it takes you through all the process in order to be ready for the open contact that it's going to happen one way or the other. So it's not necessarily, a lot of people when they speak to me, they think it's going out under the stars and saying hi and they will come. Yeah, they will come to a point, they will show themselves to a level that you're ready for it. So let's say that if you are saying, okay, I want to see a UFO, they will probably not show, because I had that conversation with a guy at work. He said, oh, so if I go and do a protocol, are they going to come and say hi? I said, look, let's imagine that you are a developed civilization. Let's imagine that you are an ET, and you are in different dimension at the moment, hovering around your neighborhood, and you see a guy chav-looking guy saying, look, I want to say hi. to you because I want to see you in a UFO. My question to him was, would you show yourself? He says probably not. So that's your answer. The ETs are not interested in people who want to see UFO. If you want to see UFO, go on YouTube. People are not interested in, and people who want their technology. People are not interested. ETs are not interested in people who are killing and they're nasty. They are interested in good people of the earth. Simply because we are in trouble at the moment. A lot of people lives in ignorance. Not being aware of what is actually happening. A lot of people will think that and think that they will, if they will carry on doing what they're doing without making any changes to their lives, because this is what their parents did, and this is what their grandparents did, and this is what their great-great-parents did, grandparents did, then the life will go on as it is. Well, not necessarily. We're probably looking at another 200 years or so of what we're doing to our planet. If we don't implement changes, this is what will happen. And the result, the thing on our planet, the situation, the pollution of the ocean, the pollution of the environment, the biosphere, all that is a result of our collective consciousness state. So if you make a little change in your life, you are affecting other people. So if I am making little change, people are starting to ask me at work, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then they will question why, or perhaps they will question their life. So if we all together make a simple change, like I'm recording on my video, on our videos at the Universal Peace Initiative on YouTube, you can check it out. If you start making small changes, one by one, not necessarily changing a whole diet or going full eco-friendly, but if you stop using plastic or go bag-free, or you even use less water, that will be a change. Because if everybody else does it, 7 billion people on this planet, the things will change. And that's the idea. But the change will not come with the expansion of consciousness. Why? Because the more you expand your awareness, the more you are aware of the world that you are in, of the plants, of this plant. If you're aware of this plant, that this is a living being, can you see that? Yeah, that this is a living being. Thanks, David. And the more you are aware of that, of the world that you live, the more you see, and then there is a chance that you will make a decision whether you will make a change in your life. The more you expand your consciousness, the more you see. The more you expand your awareness, the more you can do, because then that allows you to make a change. So this is what we encourage at Universal Peace Initiative. I'm going to try to. I'm not really sure how to add people. I think there we are. David has requested to join my video. So let's have a look. Because this is something what I haven't done yet. This is the first time I'm actually going to add. You, David, has requested. It says adding on the phone. So hopefully you can join me. No, declined. David doesn't want to be in my video. Okay. I'll try again. Come on, David, I'm adding you to the video. Everybody.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. This is the first time I'm doing this, David.
Same here.
So
I think
I've seen people doing the live video, so with other people. So this is interesting. Let's see. How are you, David? Where are you calling from?
I'm very good. I'm at home and I'm very much enjoying your video. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. We go on.
No, I was going to say it's so wonderful to see you up at Castle Ring again and broadcasting live. It's amazing to have this kind of technology where we can do this. This is fantastic. And I've got a lot of
Well,
friends now. I've got a lot of my friends who are not contactees or experiencers who are joining and watching the videos. So that's amazing as well. So
okay, good. Well, this is what we need to do, David. Despite people differences and despite where they're from, it doesn't matter because you and me and everybody else are conscious beings and we are all in this together. Simply
yeah,
because
I know that.
simply because if someone doesn't if we do those videos like this, if we doing, then the more information gets out and people are becoming aware of what is actually going on around us. And I would like to thank you for what you've done as well. Your first live video, that was really, really good, because that was the first
Yeah,
time you came out.
to be honest, I only asked to join you so I can give you a bit of backup, so you don't feel like you're there on your own.
That's all right. Well, maybe you can, there's 6 people watching us. Hi, Nick. Tell us a little bit,
Yeah,
because
your
that's going to
signal's
be
breaking
saved
up,
later.
buddy.
Hold on. I should be fine.
Okay.
I've got 4G. Yes, if you can tell us a little bit about your experiences with ETs, how you do it.
I can. Of course I can. First thing I want to do, though, if I may, and it's a bit of a plug, but you've met Rachel,
Yes.
Rachel Murphy. I just want to point out that on the 8th and 9th of September, and you are coming, I hope,
Hmm.
we are hosting an event in Birmingham called the Multidimensional Show, which is where we're going to talk about all of this stuff, and we're going to help spread. This is not why I connected tonight, by the way. I connected because I love what you're doing, but I can't not give her a shout out because I think she deserves it. She's doing a lot of amazing work, and there's a conference going on in Birmingham on the 8th and 9th of September about what we're doing, about ET contact and UFOs and star seeds. And people who are watching this need to come along if they're interested. That's the first thing I want to say. So, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we are going there. I am going there as well. I'm going to.
Good.
You can get tickets if you just find a is it multidimensional show on the internet on Facebook?
Multidimensionalshow.co.uk. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you it is in Birmingham, so we are going to be. This is going to be my first event like this to attend,
Yeah.
and I think you guys have done this before.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I haven't, but I look forward to seeing you there. And there's going to be a lot of amazing people there. So, but anyway, I didn't want to hijack your video. I just didn't want to, because
it's fine.
obviously me, you, and Rachel have met before. And it's all
If
about
you can,
growing the movement.
if you can just tell me where you went last time. I'm in the middle of the circle of the Cannock
I don't,
Chase Castle Ring.
I have to be honest, I don't remember exactly. I think we walked about a third of the way around the loop. We found this little slip that went down. It was before it was definitely before 180 degrees, and we found that patch and we kind of set up there. But honestly, I don't think it matters because that whole area just feels like it is kind of sacred and important. So I don't think it really matters where you are. But
Oh, it
you know, I want to make the point that yes, we sat in a specific spot last time. Yeah, but I appreciate why you want to find that spot as well. I understand that, but I don't think it's important or relevant because the whole area is charged with energy. But I can't remember. We walked about a third of the way around, and we found what looked like a slip down into a fairly flat of ground. We think the older guys in the group would fall down and break their neck.
No, it doesn't matter. I thought you found something that with a lot of open space that you can see outside,
No,
like
it
for
was
example
literally
here.
just a little. No, it was just a patch of ground, and we thought, oh, we'll set up
Okay.
here. And it was
Right.
about
Okay.
okay. Yeah. What was your other question? Sorry. And it's good to
My
see
other
you, by the way,
question
brother.
was. My other question was is if you can share your experiences because you've been doing this for longer than I have with CE-5 and what's just to tell everybody who's listening
I
What's your
can,
view
and
on
I'm
it?
happy to do. I am more than happy to do so. Um, yeah. So 5 years ago, I went through a bit of a paradigm shift. So I'd been grounded in normal reality where I was like, okay, life is about money and property and paying your bills, blah 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 blah, and all that crap. And in the back of my mind, I was kind of a Christian, but I really wasn't. So it was just something that I'd been taught as a child. You must believe in God, blah blah blah, blah yada yada, blah. Um, and without going into too much personal detail, life kind of fell apart a little bit, and I started to question reality and everything, and sort of say to the universe, "I don't believe in you. Fuck you. Forgive my French." Um, and actually, it didn't start with the whole UFO thing. It started with something very different, which was a memory. If and I'll keep this brief if I can, because it's also what I'm talking about at the multidimensional show, and I don't want to
Sure.
spoil my talk. But um, it actually started with a memory from childhood that I had forgotten, which was about out of body travel. Because I used to do this as a kid. I used to astrally project, and I'd forgotten that I did it because it disappeared as I got older, and it came back to me as an adult in my 30s. The memory just kind of came back to me that I used to lie in bed and have these kind of out of body experiences, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I should probably look into that. So I did some online research and I found a book online about how to do these things. But the guy who wrote the book thought it was all in your head. He didn't believe there was anything outside of yourself, that it was purely like a phenomenon of the mind. I know we haven't talked about this yet, so this is probably surprising you as well. Um, but I found a book called The Phase, and I read that and I took on board what he said. And there was some techniques in there about how to get yourself into this state that he described as kind of a lucid dream state. And I went, well, no, this is not lucid dreaming. This is out of body travel. So I tried his techniques and they worked. And I got attacked a couple of times. Not something I want to go into massively, but I did get attacked by dark energy. And as a result of that, I then started looking into kind of my mind just was just open. Like I started looking into kind of how do you protect yourself, and I got into the whole energy body and the chakras. And as a result of all of that, I came across Stephen Greer's stuff. Completely in a roundabout kind of way, I came across Stephen Greer's stuff, and it was about how to make contact with ET intelligence through consciousness. And when I first looked into it, I thought this is nonsense. It's crap. I will be honest, but I was intrigued enough that I tried it, and it worked, which threw me, completely surprised me, and that was the paradigm shift. The first time you have something materialize in your garden is a bit of an eye opener. Um, and again, it just kind of grew from there. I was like, okay, I've seen something now with my own physical eyes, and it's convinced me there's something amazing going on here. And I started researching more. And it's not an overnight process. It grew over the course of several years. But so I started going out with groups in Oxford and around the country, and just doing a lot of reading about esoteric material, and it just kept accelerating and kept happening more and more and more. And then eventually I formed my own group in Tamworth, which is something I'm going to talk about at the multidimensional show. And we had military craft come over the house, heading towards where the craft were that were appearing. And there's a point where you sit back and you go, okay, I'm not imagining this stuff. There's something tangible to this, and something intangible, and the two are linked. There's stuff coming when I ask, and there's real stuff responding when this stuff happens. And then you start asking the questions like, well, why are they coming? What is it about? Why are they responding to me? And then you get into the spiritual side of it, which is, as you've said, and I completely concur, it is about our growth as souls. It's not about the flesh and blood. It's about us growing as spiritual beings and about the greater purpose of the universe. And that's why they're visiting us. I think we're in coherence on this. I think so. But Contact work is very much, I will shut up in a second, sorry, but spiritual work, the contact work has very much been a spiritual thing for me, and I didn't expect it to be. I was expecting to see nuts and bolts, spaceships in the skies, little green men on the ground, and that's not what it's been. It's become something I didn't expect, which is not religious, but it is spiritual, and it's more about our purpose as a species and as a collective and individually about where we're going and where we're heading. And
The thing is, if I may stop, because if
of course,
you'll spoil your show if you keep talking, and I've only
yes, you're right. Yes, you're right.
And I've only got 15% of battery. I still have to get back home, and I'm on my bicycle, so that will be a challenge.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me join you on this talk, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. We should do this more often. You see, people like yourself, there's a lot of people out there who have had contact and they don't know what it is, or they have had contact but they have not had any people who they can talk to about about that. And there's a lot of people who who want to have who know that there is something out there, but they have no idea what to do, how to start.
Yeah, and they've not had contact yet, but they want to, and they're craving it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you can sense it in the air that the humanity finally is going to a point to acknowledge that we're not alone in the universe. Wow, it's 2018.
Yeah.
So with all the brainwashing that we had, with all the evidence that had been hidden of ancient aliens, as they call them, that evidence is so enormous that you see 5,000-6,000 years before Christ, you can see the evidence of visitors from out of space.
Yeah.
The thing is, people don't read, don't look into it. Very few people actually research the subject. And the moment you start researching the subject, you will be overwhelmed with evidence and you will be like, why is nobody talking about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then, so this is what we have to do, I think, as CE-5ers.
Yeah, it's our mission. It is. I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to make one final point before your battery dies. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is our mission to entice people to be curious and go out there and look, because once you start looking, as you said, you're correct. There is so much evidence out there that people just are not aware of because they're not looking for it. But and contact work itself, my final point, is so simple and intrinsic to human nature and spiritual nature universally, that I was very surprised how easily it came to me. And everyone can do it, and it doesn't involve any special people or any kind of magic or rituals. It's just intention. That's all it is. And we can all do it, and we need to do it because it will drive humanity out of where we currently are into the next level of our evolution. I know that sounds a bit weird, but yeah.
Well, it is.
I know you're with me, and I'm just maybe not using the right word.
It is what it is. This is going to be one of the major breaking points for humanity, acknowledging the existence of ETs. If you see what has been happening for the last 2,000 years, you had religion after religion, killing spirituality. Hello, boy.
Yeah.
You got a dog here.
And it's hello.
Yes.
And it's inevitable. The thing is, I think the word I want to use before we close is that it's inevitable. It's coming anyway, but people like us are driving it forward, and it needs to happen before we fucking ruin the planet and kill ourselves, because there's a lot of people out there who are concerned about us, like aunties and uncles. I don't want to call them parents. I think you know what I'm saying. Yeah, we're being watched very carefully, and this is a message for the people watching, not for you, because I know you know this. We are being watched very carefully by concerned family members who don't want us to fuck up our chance at having a nice home to live in, basically. And we are doing at the moment. And that's why there's so much activity on the planet, because we're being watched. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the reason for the dramatic increase in ET activity over the last 50, 60 years.
And I also want to add, and I will have to be going, is I'm personally a great believer that of the theory that we are another civilization of humans, that there was a civilization of humans that ended before us, and then there was another one that ended before us, and there is we are at the stage that where if we end, we can go both, it can go into two directions. We can either end and then the life will have to be restarted on the planet again,
Yeah.
or we can go
Go
and
that way.
evolve finally.
Forward. Yeah.
Finally evolve and be happy. You know, imagine a life where you don't have to spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week at work. You can if you want, but you don't have to. That you've got time for your children, you've got time for your wife or your husband, that everybody on the planet has the best intentions to help you. They're not looking for the benefits for themselves. And imagine that everybody on the planet is actually intending to do whatever they can to help you. That way, everybody wins.
Do you know
And
what
you know, there's
Do you know what we should do? We should have an online chat about this kind of stuff, because obviously this gets very deep very quickly. And
yeah, I know.
limits on battery.
We haven't got time and battery.
No, let's do this. Let's have this conversation tomorrow or at some point next week. Put it live on Facebook. Let's do this.
We'll be in touch. We can do it. Yeah, I'll do it on my page, and hopefully people can stuff.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
let's do it. We'll be in touch, David.
Yes. Okay. Well, bless you for going to. Bless you for going back to Castle Ring, where we saw some amazing stuff a few weeks ago. I want everyone who's watching to know that we did see ET craft. We had beings on the ground. We had an amazing experience. Wonderful. As I'm sure you'll back me up on.
So I will probably find out today. If not, I'll find out at some point, because this is the first time I'm here actually. So yeah, I'm going to go back here tonight. If you want to join me, David, come along.
Okay. Okay. No, well, yeah.
Right. I've got to go because I'm going to get lost on the way back, and it's a complicated route on the bicycle. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, David, for coming. And God bless everybody, and we'll be in touch.
God bless and namaste. And thank you for inviting me into your talk.
No problem. See you later.
All right, buddy.